Horror aficionados and fans of the macabre gather round Robert Eggers, the visionary director celebrated for his atmospheric masterpieces. The Witch and The Lighthouse has finally delivered his highly anticipated reimagining of Nosferatu. This isn't just another remake, it's a Gothic symphony of shadows and suspense that honours the legacy of its predecessors while forging its own darkly unique path. After years of anticipation, we can finally delve into Eggers' chilling vision, and it is a feast for the senses that was well worth the wait. We're all familiar with the saga of Nosferatu, the audacious, unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula that rose to become a silent film cornerstone, nearly facing extinction due to its existence as an unlicensed work. From F.W. Murnau's groundbreaking 1922 original to Werner Herzog's evocative 1979 tribute, Nosferatu has held audiences spellbound for over a century. However, Eggers' 2024 interpretation is in a league of its own. Prepare to be immersed in a world of breathtaking, near-monochrome visuals, a monstrously compelling performance by Bill Skarsgård as the enigmatic Count Orlock, and a remarkably empowered portrayal of Ellen Hutter by the phenomenal Lily Rose Depp. This isn't just a horror film, it's a deep dive into Gothic horror and a surprisingly nuanced exploration of female agency in a society determined to stifle it. The true revelation of this Nosferatu is Lily Rose Depp's performance as Ellen. Stunning barely scratches the surface. Depp doesn't simply portray Ellen, she becomes her, infusing the character with a captivating, often unsettling physicality that propels the film to extraordinary heights. We're not merely talking about acting here, we are talking about a complete physical and emotional transformation. Depp masterfully conveys Ellen's internal conflict and burgeoning power, not solely through dialogue, but through the very essence of her physicality. Critics have lauded her possession scenes as almost acrobatic, reminiscent of a contortionist's movements. This isn't the conventional depiction of a woman overwhelmed by a supernatural entity. There's a raw, visceral dynamism to her movements, a simultaneous struggle and release. Comparisons to the chilling intensity of The Last Exorcism are apt, encapsulating the sheer force of Depp's on-screen presence. The collaborative effort between Eggers and Depp is evident in the creation of a physical language for Ellen's ordeal. Her posture, the subtle shifts in her demeanour, the intensity in her gaze, every detail speaks volumes about the character's internal landscape. It's as though she constantly teeters on the precipice, oscillating between vulnerability and a terrifying, almost primal strength. This isn't a woman merely victimized. It's a woman discovering a dark, potent agency within, even if it's catalyzed by her horrific connection to the vampire. She is a woman finding her voice in a world that demands silence. Depp's physicality brings this struggle, this metamorphosis vividly to life. You witness it in every frame, every movement. It's mesmerizing, disturbing, and a cornerstone of what makes this Nosferatu so distinct and potent. It's a performance that will linger with you, a testament to how it amplifies the film's impact. In essence, Eggers' Nosferatu is not just a retelling, but a reinvention. It pays homage to the original while boldly forging its own identity. It's a film that demands to be seen, discussed, and dissected. In particular, Depp's performance is a revelation, adding layers of complexity and nuance to a character that could have easily been a mere damsel in distress. Instead, she is the heart of the film, a character whose journey is as fascinating as it is terrifying. Nosferatu, the 1922 silent film, terrified audiences with its eerie vampire Count Orlock. But what many didn't realise was that Orlock's monstrous appearance, the hooked nose, the claw-like hands, wasn't just a random monster design. It was playing on harmful stereotypes about Jewish people that were sadly common in those days. Now, I'm not saying the original filmmakers were intentionally spreading hate, but let's face it, they were living in a time when prejudice was rampant. And sometimes those prejudices, well, they seeped into their art, whether they meant to or not. It's like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. But hey, at least they didn't give Orlock a tiki torch, am I right? Thankfully, Moisey T, the new Nosferatu, doesn't fall into that same trap. Robert Eggers, the director, is way too smart for that. He knows the history, and he's made sure this new Orlock is just a monster, plain and simple. No hidden agendas, no dog whistles, just good old-fashioned horror. With a twist. Turns out, Bram Stoker himself, the author of the original Dracula novel, was fascinated by these creepy Romanian legends. He drew inspiration from the Strigoi, these monstrous creatures, more like vengeful spirits, with a taste for blood. They could be living or dead, and they often preyed on their own families. Yikes. Talk about a toxic family reunion. The Strigoi were different from the vampires we know from books and movies. They were often bloated and red-faced, not pale and gaunt. And forget about charming their victims. These guys were all about brute force and terror. It's like the difference between a cunning politician and a ranting internet troll. One's sneaky and manipulative, the other just wants to watch the world burn. But you know what's really interesting? While Stoker's book was all about female sexuality, and the 1922 film had some pretty nasty stereotypes, this new Nosferatu seems to be saying something different. It's like a warning about what happens when we ignore the experts, when we dismiss people's lived experiences. Whether it's scientists warning about a pandemic or marginalised communities speaking out against injustice, we better listen up or things could get ugly really fast. So go see the new Nosferatu. It's a fantastic film, and it's a reminder that we can do better, be better, and create art that scares us without resorting to cheap shots and harmful stereotypes. Plus, it's a chilling glimpse into the dark heart of folklore, where the monsters are truly monstrous. And hey, if you're looking for a real scare after that, just turn on the news and watch some of those right-wing politicians who ignore experts and lived experience. Now, those are some truly terrifying creatures. What do you think about the new Nosferatu? Did you catch any hidden messages lurking in the shadows? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Stay woke and stay spooky.